Okay. The friend zone. Something that every man with a good heart or with no balls has someday, um, at some time been faced with. And it's always an interesting phenomenon because the guys who are in it just they feel like the victim. And I was one of them. And as a recovering friend zonist, I just say, don't be a dick. Um, it's don't get angry at someone because they want to be friends with you. Go fuck yourself, basically. Go have it, rub one out, or go fucking spin the DJ decks, and yeah, go fuck yourself. Um, because it's not their fault that they want to be friends. You got to make your intentions clear. And if you don't want to be friends, then don't be friends. They don't, you're not forcing friendship. It's just your dick's taking over in your mind. Thinks, yeah, if I'm friends, this is going to happen. Um, and I've had it happen to me a bit, and that was all my fault. I wasn't assertive enough. I didn't make my intentions clear. I thought, oh, if we get friends, we can establish a relationship, but didn't develop as it should. And it's always a shit thing. And look, guys, if your girl has guy friends, be fucking wary. Be wary of that because they're just waiting. They are waiting in the background. They are like a homeless guy through a fucking trash bin. They are just hoping to find some morsel of pussy out of that at some stage. They are like hyenas circling a carcass that's ravaged by vultures. They're just hoping there's a bit of fucking meat on that bone left. They'll wait forever because they're starving. So watch out. I know, because I'll admit, I used to be one of those guys who was waiting there. I'd never do something while that they had a boyfriend. I did once, feel like shit about it, told the guy, our friendship's over. That was fucking stupid. There was a lot of speed and a lot of drinking that night. Um, Jesus, yeah, what a bad decision. But and that's why I'm just an advocate of if you want to have female friends, that's fine. A lot of guys say it's impossible because your dick fights with this and this and this, and that's that is kind of true. Like you're always going to have those intrusive thoughts. I think Louis C.K. does a really good bit about it, where he says that that I'm constantly pestered by sick thoughts. It's he's fucking great. If you haven't heard of him, like I've seen these things, I never watched him until recently, but it's Louis C.K. So LOUISC.K. Fucking great. Watch any of his stand up, it's amazing. But he does a bit where women can choose to have these intrusive thoughts. And that's the issue with having a girl in that you're interested in and you're friends with, or even if you're just friends with, you're still gonna have those intrusive thoughts at some stage. And you've got to be honest with yourself and determine, and I'm speaking to the guys out there because obviously as a guy I can only really share my perspective, but you've got to be honest with yourself and say, like, are these just intrusive thoughts? Can I control them? Am I really enjoying her company, or am I just hoping I'm going to get something out of it? And you've got to be realistic, because otherwise I see these two people at work as an example, and they've been friends for a year and a half. And if you guys are listening to this, sorry, I'm not going to mention your names, but the truth's out. Everybody can see it. Fucking let each other go. Just fucking, or either fuck or walk. All right, just fuck or walk away. That's all you can do now, because you're fucking each other's lives. Everyone who watches it, every single person from the fucking retard to the scholar can see what's going on there. And you used the word retard. Go get a nice brick, lube it up, put it horizontal, shove it up your ass, go fuck yourself. Now basically, what is it? The guy and the girl. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they're flirty. They both say they're best friends. I've pulled the guy aside and I've pulled her. I'm like, so are you interested? No, we're just really good friends. Like, really? Are you really good friends? Because there's sort of a bubble around people that are friends. You'll never get past a certain personal space with a friend, whether it's female or male, There's only so far you'll go. So there's obviously exclusions, but there's so far. But they touch each other like in flirty ways. They're always close. He hangs around like a bad smell. She doesn't as much. So he's the one who's more needy. And it prevents anybody else from getting involved with them, because when you witness that, if I was to say date either of them, if I was to step back and go, well, would I date this person? I'd say no, because they're obviously already emotionally involved with this other person. I'd always be the plan B. So they're basically preventing each other from finding a fulfilling relationship, and that's what the if you want to actually put a definition of the friend zone is, that's the friend zone right there, is that prevention. And I can't say that this piece of advice is myself, and again, I'm not a specialist. There's something that I heard on Burr's podcast that he said, to just summarize, is basically you got to get to a point, even though it's going to give you butterflies and make you want to throw up like a Hungry Jack's, Red Rooster, and KFC all in the same day, and you're going to be sweating like you've got that fucking KFC food poisoning. You've got to go up, as the male to her or as the girl to him. Even harder if you're the girl, because it's expected that the males make the moves. So like that would be just like, I couldn't imagine the stress of that. But as the guy, you just got to go up to her and just sit down and say, look, we've been friends for a while. I'm kind of interested in you. Are we ever going to date, or should we just be friends? And I'm happy being friends. I'm happy with what we have, but we need to give ourselves a bit of emotional distance, because we're preventing each other from getting into a meaningful relationship. And as your friend, I want to see you happy, and I'm sure that with me as your friend, you'd want to see me happy too. If there is a bit more there, we should try it out so that there's no second guessing. But we're just basically stuck in limbo in our lives at this stage, and I really think that for both of our sakes, we should move on, or something along those lines. Is you just put it out there, and you don't say, "Oh baby, I love you," and give her flowers and shove chocolates and fucking give her a bottle of booze. Like, don't be a dick. Just say how it is. And just put it out there, and you never know. And at least then you have the definitive answer, and you can move forward from there and get things to move on. But you got to be honest with yourself first. And I know from being in that position that I wasn't honest with myself sometimes. I always thought, yeah, no, she's a good friend. There would be this lingering thing in the back of my head, like, oh, but you would like to date her. And then I'd just rationalize and go, no, I'd rather be her friend. But even that little lingering thing, it would have been worth just saying, look, do you think we'll ever date? No? Great. At least I know I'm going to go fuck someone. And that's it. I'm going to fuck someone. I'm going to go date someone. But yeah, no, fuck it. I'm going to go fuck someone. And then you can just take it from there, and just, and then you have those sort of boundaries. And that's a huge thing that, the therapists talk about as well, is establishing boundaries. And that's something that needs to happen more often. Because when I see these two people at work, they both mean well, but they're both frustrated from it deep down. I can tell when I talk to them, because I'm quite good. I consider myself good friends with both of them. Even from a work point of view. But I can see the frustration, and it makes everybody around them frustrated too. All of the friends have been talking about it, saying, look, this is just bad. Like, no one wants to hang out in public because of just how awkward those vibes are, and it makes everyone else uncomfortable. Like, their friend zone is so powerful, it's pushing friends away. It's just, yeah. It reminds me of that Linkin Park song. It's like, you're pushing me away, or whatever it is, Fuck, that's off key. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, and I may as well share my own recent story. Where's that other note? I had a few stories, so I may as well go through this while we're talking about the friend zone. Yeah, I was going to use fake names, but I can't keep track of that. I'm too fucking stupid. I've had it all through high school, like those girls I'd be interested in, and then, it wouldn't work out, and I'd stay friends like, maybe, and it's pathetic, And you hang around like a bad smell, and they keep you there as a plan B. Chris Rock does a bit where it's like, in case of emergency, dick, break glass. It's so true. I don't know if they consciously mean it, but because I see you as a friend, but deep down you're just an emotional backstop. If you're not legitimately there to be their friend, like that's the definitive thing. It can happen. Some people are wired that way, where you can just be friends, and that's fine. I thought that was going to be more stories, but I can't even be fucked talking about that stuff, because it's just typical high school shit. Like, the girl's like, I'm dating all these guys, and you're sitting there like, yeah, he's such a dick, you should date someone else, yeah. And then she's single, you're like, and you start hanging out with her one-on-one, and then you don't have the balls to actually just go, look, should we date? And then she dates some other loser, and you're like, and then you don't make yourself emotionally available for other women who are obviously interested in you, because you're so fucking love-struck. You keep looking at the same bitch every fucking day, hoping she'll fucking make it through it, and before you know it, 2 years have passed and you've got a fucking drug problem. Bit of No, this isn't the FA podcast featuring the therapy session. Jesus, I need to go fuck myself. So, speaking of the friend zone, I've found myself with a girl at work, I was interested, and I asked her, said, you don't want to hang out after work? She said, no. I'm like, what about next week? She said, no. And I went, okay, I get the message. You just want to be colleagues. You know, it was a bit flirty. That's it. I remember I sat next to her a couple of weeks later while we're doing some weekend stuff, and she was making very obvious remarks. Like, you should date one of my friends, but I don't know which one. But you shouldn't. It's like, okay, so I shouldn't date you. I should date your friends. And then there was another one. She's like, oh, you're a really good friend. You're the only one who's actually talked to me since I got here. And that actually made me feel bad. Because it's like, oh, because I was kind of into you. But okay, all right. Like, if that's how you see it, cool. And she was saying other stuff. I can't really remember what it was. It was just mixed messages. I really didn't know how to fucking pick up on it. But I really got the vibe that she just wanted to be friends. So I thought, fuck it. And I just thought, all right. And I started just looking at dating sites and whatever. Just treating it like I would one of my mates, like one of the guys. You know, and all the girls are going, oh no, you didn't. I could hear it. Oh, why? Why would you do that? Well, she wanted to be friends. So that's how it is. You know, if you don't want to date, that's fine. But I don't have the energy to pretend like we're in a relationship when I want all the aspects. And I could just think, I could hear the ladies. I could hear them going, he just wants pussy. That's all he wants. He doesn't even want, doesn't even want to connect. He just wants the sexual side. Well, one, yeah, I'm a guy. And two, you need every aspect. You know, because when you're involved in that way, you get to uncover more layers of yourself and you can make yourself open because you become the team. Whereas when you're just friends, you're not. So there is all those other aspects. So generalize if you want, hypothetical lady who's criticizing me, but go fuck yourself. Go spin the decks. So yeah, and then this, where was I going with that? So yeah, and that kind of sucked, and I was a bit miserable. I think I just drank one night and woke up and went, all right, moving on. It's always the thing when a girl's like gives you the hints that she just wants to be friends. You're like, fuck it, I'll drink. Went on holidays and came back, and now it's just bizarre because now she's like, oh, I got all these guys texting me, and I think maybe it's time. I said, why didn't you meet one of them? She's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I just should, but I don't know. I think it's God saying, throw a bone. And then we laughed, and I think because she meant, bone, but I don't know, whatever. I said to her, I'm like, well, that's great. You can choose dick. I said, go out and just jump on the dick. You got all the dick you could want. Why not just go and choose it, Go for it. Go have some fun. I don't care. I said to her, I think you've probably slept with more people than I have, honestly. And my housemate pointed out to me that I not subtly, but I called her a slut, and I didn't mean it like that. I meant it in the sense that, you could go out and have fun, and you've probably had a lot more experiences, and go and enjoy yourself. I'm not gonna, if you were one of my male mates, I'd say the same thing. Go and, go get some roots. Fuck it. Like, what do I care? And then she seemed pretty dumbfounded by it. Like, and she's like, no, you've probably slept with more people than I have. I'm like, no, lady, no. No. This is premium. This is a premium service. You got to subscribe. And I don't do good with fucking casual small talk shit. And then she just started talking about, I don't know, because she likes to smoke a bit of weed. I probably shouldn't have said that because there's someone whatever. No one at work will listen to this. Yeah, she smokes weed now and then. And I said to her, well, if you keep doing that, you're going to be boring in a few years. She said, what? What do you mean? I'm like, yeah. If you keep smoking weed all day, every day, you're going to be so complacent that you're not going to learn anything. It's like what they say on South Park. She's like, no, well, you drink, and I fucking, for the love of cunt fucking God, I hate that argument. I fucking hate that argument. It's like stoners just can't accept that, you're shutting yourself down every night. If you're going home and blazing 4 or 5 cones or pipes, you're getting fucked up. You're making yourself dumb. You're making yourself boring because you're not stimulating your brain, And it's a psychological addiction. And start with a physical addiction. And bring on the emails. I want to discuss this because I'm fucking absolutely sick of it. I said to her, yeah, I drink sometimes. I know. I said, but I'll say this as a former stoner. You got to sort your shit out. She's like, I won't be boring. I said, well, if you keep doing drugs, eventually you're going to die. She seemed kind of taken aback by that. But it's the truth. Like, if you're going to keep doing fucking all this different shit every weekend, eventually you're either going to go crazy or die. So And you know that's the thing. You know, you gotta that's it. That's the two fucking outcomes. You know, even when you're broke, you can go suck. I'm not gonna say that because but you can go whore yourself out as a male or a female to get, you know, to get on. And she said, oh, but you'll miss me when I'm dead. You know, you'll be sad. I went, maybe for a day. Just in her face. Like, what? I said, for a day, mate. And she looked kind of upset. I said, oh, well, you know, I've only known you for a month or two. Do you think it really, you know, that it matters that much? Like, we've had a few chats. I'd be sad for it. I'd be like, I reconsidered it. I'm like, oh, maybe 2 days. It probably would be 2 days. And she just was like, but you know, but you'd miss me because you'd associate me with this. I said, no, that reminds me of Grimace. Because she has, oh, this is just going to identify it. It's because she has purple hair. It's like, you're going to associate me with purple. I said, you know, I think of Grimace when I think of purple. What the fuck is Grimace? Seriously. The fuck is he? And, you know, he always rats out the Hamburglar. Fucking Grimace is a snitch. So I ended up calling her a snitch. And the reason I say this is now she's like more flirty and I just don't, I can't wrap my head around it. I just don't get it. Ladies, well, I'm gonna Jack Bill Burr here, but ladies, I did it wrong. But if you could enlighten me, just send me an email. It'll probably be all sorted by the time you hear this, but still, it'd be funny to discuss.